Rap Life Review is back. Happy New Year? Are you allowed to say this?
Clearly, some people that work at this establishment have let us know that it's improper to continue the sentiment of wishing you a Happy New Year.
Past January
In the
4th.
comments, let us know when you watch this, do you feel like it's inappropriate for us to wish y'all who engage with us for better or for worse a Happy New Year?
I would like to say Happy New Year to
I want to say a Happy New Year. Nadeska?
Happy New Year, everybody.
But did you want to say Happy New Year?
Don't let us force you to say it.
I'm pretty indifferent about this. Out of habit, I'm always going to say Happy New Year if it's the first time I'm seeing you. A few times.
Because you know why? It's appropriate.
It's appropriate.
That's what we did
But
in the
some
kitchen.
people feel strongly about this, that it's just excessive, that people just feel pressure to keep saying this. So we want to know, like, what's really good.
Let's start with French Montana.
Yeah.
Coke Boy 6. Project Out. It is a DJ drama Gangsta Grill's presentation. However, it came with controversy. There was a video shoot. Now, I couldn't figure out, was this a video from the project Coke Boy 6, or did this have something to do with something else? I don't know.
I'm assuming because they're attaching his name to it, French's name to it, I'm assuming it's something off the project because the project just dropped on Friday. So I'm not sure if it was for a particular song or wherever it was, but it was in Miami. I think there was a robbery before the shooting, and then 10 people were hit.
Nobody died.
No fatalities. French sent out his sentiments, thoughts and prayers, but I'm pretty sure this is pretty heavy on his shoulders when he should be celebrating.
Well, so Miami Gardens police have come out and said he didn't have permission to shoot the video. He didn't have the proper permits to shoot the video. And if he would have done that, they believe this incident would not have taken place. This is dangerous in the financial sense, I think, for French Montana.
Very dangerous.
Right? Because now people who were harmed may want to come after French.
So if you get the proper permit to shoot a video, is there extra security?
That's what the Miami Gardens police are saying.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Because then they're probably on site.
Right.
They're probably assigned to that specific, project, but now no one knew, and now this happens.
Well, and because Miami Gardens police say the incident or altercation started at a different location and then kind of ended up
that was the
at the video shoot.
Yeah.
Maybe they feel like they could have
controlled
known
it or
about things, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
And it's just unfortunate because, going back to Coke Boy 6 is a pretty solid project. I went to the listening session last week, so a lot of people turned out. Music was pretty club friendly, pretty club heavy. He's got appearances from Nav, ASAP Rocky, a couple other folks. But I think it's the only thing, my only gripe with it is too long. It's like 28 songs.
Yeah, it's a lot of records. But I think a lot of those Coke Boys projects, those tapes.
They naturally do have a lot. I think
there's Max B's on there.
Max B's on there.
Is on there.
Yep, Chinks is on there. I would like it for it to focus on French just a little bit more, but granted, it's called Coke Boy 6. So
it's about the crew, it's about the new artists, it's about all of that.
So it was a good, solid listen. So if you're into that franchise, tap into it.
One of the most active artists, I think, in hip-hop has to be NBA YoungBoy. He dropped yet another project.
I don't know how he does it. Like, I don't know, what music, what he's...
He got to say, bro.
I bet you got another one coming out next week.
Yo, and his fans love it. More power to you, bro. Keep dropping them because there are artists that this is what they do. You know what I mean? And
I just think he's doing it to a different magnitude. Like, I can't remember seeing an output like this consistent.
And it's crazy because artists record a lot of songs, period, right? They'll tell you they have hundreds exactly to choose from, but the fact that
I think he just lets them fly.
Yeah, and I mean, if the fans keep consuming it, that's the wildest part. That's amazing. Why should he stop?
Back when there was a period where Lil Wayne was going hard, and I felt like he was putting out
Not like this.
But there was a period where he
was everywhere. It was a mixtape, it was a freestyle, it was a feature, it was a single.
Was it full projects though?
No. I mean, it was like The Drought Is Over.
Right.
Like those mixtapes, but these are albums.
Right.
These are just coming out.
Griselda's also very active too.
Yeah, but
not individual artists. Each artist is dropping something every month.
Yeah, but this man is dropping something every other week.
As a solo artist, which is wild.
Yeah, and that's wild.
Well, the opposite end of the spectrum is and in R&B is SZA's SOS. Because this is her first project in how long?
5 years.
Shout to Jersey too, by the way.
Yeah, no, we've been waiting a minute since Control. And of course, she's had some singles in the meantime. The Black Panther soundtrack came at some point in between that. She dropped some videos, but it's been a long wait. And I feel like for an artist like SZA, who we know is always nervous when she drops a project, the build up for her and how she probably made herself anxious was a lot. So I hope she's enjoying the fact now that we're all really enjoying this album, because I think the flex for her is as a songwriter, you could hear that she's gotten even better on this project, which is crazy. Because Control is like amazing because she's such a good writer. It always feels like you're listening to sort of her inner monologue, which can be dark but also hilarious at the same time. Like when you think about a song like Kill Bill on this project. So the songwriting I think is stellar. Production's great. She does her thing. Some songs sound like traditional R&B. There's a couple songs she's rapping on. Some sounds like a little alt rock. Yeah, it's crazy. You get a little bit of everything. So I think for me personally as a SZA fan, it was really worth the wait. And there's still enough songs that I'm still going through and finding new things with every listen.
It was interesting the amount of music that's on SOS, still #1 on Apple Music right now. I did not expect that many records. I'm glad it was that many. Another thing that strikes me when I listen to it is how much SZA has given of herself to other artists as a songwriter. And so when you're listening to her do her thing, you realize how much she's gifted to just the game in general. How many artists have patterned themselves after the music that she's made throughout the years, how much she is a standout when it comes to doing what she does. Like, there's a lot of people trying to do what SZA does. She is definitely a level above everyone else. Like, clearly a level above. The fact that she has an ODB moment.
To close the album, too, fire. She said she didn't think that would get cleared, but the estate allowed it. I think it's from the doc.
I just don't know how many people know, like, how much of a Wu-Tang person she was growing up, and then having an ODB on the album. The fact that her name is SZA, RZA, Jizza, like that whole I don't know if people, I mean, I'm sure the hardcore fans are in on it, but me as a fan of hers and seeing her get that's
the icing on the cake for you.
And the record's fire.
No, yeah, I mean, just in addition to that.
For sure. Like, and then the fact it's 3 weeks running, #1.
Yeah.
You know, we got to see the conclusion of the Megan Thee Stallion Tory Lanez trial. And the reason I categorize it as sad is because it's, while Megan is getting justice, and rightfully so, it was sad to see how people really came for her personal life and really tried to frame her as the one in the wrong. Like, she was on trial. Even after this, you're gonna have people who are mad at Megan when she literally did nothing to deserve what she got.
Yeah, this has been going on for a couple of years. Right. Of course, people.
But it feels like it escalated during the trial.
Which is a crazy thing, because I'm sure for her going into it, she was probably feeling hella stressed out, knowing that this would happen. Even if she got justice, or I guess we could call it some kind of closure, legally speaking, that there were going to be a subset of people who were going to still victimize her and make her be the bad guy in this situation. It's just terrible. Like, I can't imagine how she feels, you know, if there was even any sense of relief, or it was just like, cool, so this is done, and now I have to deal with the fallout from getting justice served in this case. But I don't know. I know you expressed some.
I expressed how I felt about Tory going to jail, which, you know, I never want to see a black man go to jail, but he deserves it, and he deserves what he's getting. So when I was asked about it, I was like, I hope he doesn't have to go to jail. But the truth is, I'm sad. Even Megan, as getting justice, she's not a winner in this scenario. She was abused. And then she's being verbally abused. And then she's being framed in a bad way. And then when she goes to put out music, this is going to continue to come up all the time. That's sad to me. Tory Lanez is an artist we watch grow from handing out CDs in front of the mall in Toronto and figuring out how to, you know, come up in the game. And his ego gets out of control and he starts doing dumb and his toxic behaviors on display. Next thing we know, here we are in this scenario. After the trial comes out, we get to hear audio, or after the trial concludes, we get to hear audio of him being super apologetic on the phone and like being somewhat remorseful. We didn't even get to see that person. We got to see this asshole run around and gaslight Megan the entire time. That's how much of an idiot he is. That makes me sad.
That don't make me sad, because you know what you're doing. Like, he's not dumb. Like, I'm sure.
So clearly he's dumb.
Well,
he's dumb.
I'm sure he has,
and that was our issue with the thing the whole time.
I'm sure he has a hint of intelligence where he knows that the things and the actions he's committing aren't right.
It's just, like I said, the whole thing is sad.
And
people were mad at me for saying I hope he doesn't go to jail. And you have every right to be upset with me about that.
The whole
but
situation
saying
is
that
sad.
I support Tory Lanez after we sat here for years, like, yo, I don't with that dude. He's handling this shit bad is wild. The YSL case. Gunna has copped a plea.
Yep.
Others in the case have copped a plea. There's been a couple of people that refuse to cut a plea deal and they want to see how things play out in court. And now we have information that the charges against Gunna were at 65 charges.
Against Young Thug.
Or, excuse me, against Young Thug were at 65 charges, are now down to 8.
Right.
Including, let's see, the RICO Act, the violation of the RICO Act, 2 counts of participation in criminal street gang activity, possession of both marijuana and codeine with intent to distribute.
So it's still serious charges.
Yes.
You know, it's still.
I would say that.
Yeah.
Those are pretty serious.
Violating the RICO Act, I hear, is one of those.
How much does that carry?
Can't be good. Can't be. It's not. I mean,
more than 10?
I think it depends on the severity. I think there's levels to it, but it's one of those things that usually you can't dodge.
Gotcha.
Like, there's not really a way out of it. I think the fact that it went from 65 counts down to 8 sounds good to people like us who ain't really involved. But the way it's playing out, they're going to make an example out of Young Thug.
Yeah. They've said it in court. We want the leader.
Right.
Everybody else, whatever. We want, what's it, Jeffrey Williams? That's what his name? That's what they?
Steffi Jeffrey.
Yeah. But yeah, they want him. And they're doing everything to get him. And it's, what can you do? Like, you got to just sit back and just let it play out.
Once again, it's sad. I'm going to use that term again.
I will join you in feeling, I feel like, deeply saddened.
But when you decide, as you pointed out when we're talking about Tory Lanez, you make a conscious adult decision to decide to do things that you know could have implications. A lot of people aren't going to feel sad for you.
Yeah, I mean, the best case scenario is that when you're in a situation like Young Thug and Gunna and your music is so successful, you're making so much money that you could then leave this behind. But of course, that's much easier said than done. You're not just going to snap your fingers and be able to turn your back and walk away from that situation. So we don't even know if they made an attempt to leave that behind, but it was too hard to do that, or they just kept going. But either way, it's like you said, they're all adults. They made adult decisions here, but I'm sad because I think we're losing a generational talent here.
And other bad news was the passing of the legend in the game, Hypnotized Minds crew and 3 6 Mafia in Memphis, legend Gangsta Boo. This had to do with a drug situation and was a heart attack, went into cardiac arrest. I've read a number of articles about this drug overdose, but once again, it was a fentanyl-laced drug overdose.
Yeah, which is terrible because we know this is a problem, obviously, but we hear a lot more of it affecting younger people. But this is just a reminder that it can happen to anyone, which is really, really unfortunate. So definitely a big issue. And we spoke about her on the show a couple months ago when she had the record with Lotto. And I think we were all excited to, in 2022, be talking about Gangsta Boo and giving her some love. And now it's a complete shock that a couple months later, we're talking about her passing away. It's terrible. But I remember at the time the record dropped, Lotto doing an interview and saying she feels like Gangsta Boo needed to get her flowers. And in hip hop, we always, always, always wait until it's too late to then start talking about how much we love and care for an artist. So I'm glad that she got to get some of that love so recently, at least.
The craziest part of this story is the fact that her brother also overdosed and was able to recover. And so, like, they were out at a club or a concert together, I think it was. Right. And clearly, getting high. And
what a traumatic event for him then, recovering and waking up and realizing he lost his sister. I know, it's heartbreaking to just think about.
So to wrap things up, we always love to hear from you guys here on the Rap Life Review. We have a section of this program for YouTube comments. Nadeska reads the YouTube comments. We respond. Anything great in there.
All right. So when we did our end of the year recap, apparently none of us mentioned JID's Forever story.
Oh,
we did forget that. We did forget that.
that up.
Because
That's
I know
one
that
of my
was,
favorite albums
I
of
know.
2023.
Yeah, you did a great interview with him. I know we all talked about that album when it dropped, and we love it. So to everybody who called us out, you're completely right. We deserve all these L's.
We apologize.
Absolutely. Then we talked about in our rapid fire, I think, predictions for who was going to have the biggest or big year this year. So someone added, I think Cardi's going to have a blast in 2023. I'm expecting a massive project from her next year. I think we all are at this point, right? Yeah. We've been waiting on the next album.
I mean, she said that she's got some stuff, but she was apprehensive or insecure about dropping it.
Yeah.
So
I think she said that mid last year that she was been working on some stuff, but was a little bit hesitant because of how high the expectations were. So maybe she felt like the quality didn't live up to the demand. So I think maybe she went back to the studio and trying to figure things out. But I do hope and pray that she gives us a massive sophomore effort. And I think she can, you know. So she ended the year strong with Tomorrow too. So I'm looking forward to seeing what she can give us this year.
Yeah, Cardi, SZA did it after 5 years. You got this.
No, you got to get, now let's get to the troll comments.
Let's get to the positive energy. Harvey Chapman wants to point out that I'm a phony. Nadeska wants us to know that she listens to Coke rap so bad, but it's only Pusha T. You're absolutely right. My favorite Coke rap is from like retired drug dealers, like, period. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear about it if you're doing it right now. So you're right. Thanks for calling me out. James Davidson says Ebro is the living definition of the word unk.
That's right.
That's actually a sweet comment. I like that.
That's a very nice comment. That's a very nice. Very nice.
Shout out to James. Another one says, could respect Ebro's take if he didn't become such an old head. I don't think that like cuts anywhere.
What does that even mean?
What does that mean? Like, you're stating the obvious. Like he's an old head. He said it.
Damn, there's no...
Listen, I hope y'all make it, man. I know we live in a society that, you know, doesn't really take care of old folks out here. You know what I'm saying? Or doesn't even regard what old folks have gotten to so that we can impart some wisdom on you young heads. All I want to say to every time somebody calls me an old head is I hope you make it.
Yo, that's the most fire, shadiest, disrespectful...
It's
eloquent comeback I've heard. I love that.
Elegant.
I love that.
Yeah, very elegantly put.
I hope y'all make it.
I hope you make it.
I'm definitely going to be using that one. I hope you're fine with it. I just want to point out that there is absolutely no disrespect for Lowkey in these comments. So that's
this
good.
week.
That is our positivity to start the year.
I will be watching for him to slip.
No,
so I could point it out to the barbs.
Don't start doing that. Like that. Now you're all right.
To the Barty gang.
No, you're violating the boundaries.
You said the right thing about the Barty gang.
Yes, I said that we're waiting for her to drop
a project. You better be waiting. And before we wrap on the Rap Life Review, we got to big up to the squad and the whole Apple Music family. We are going to be at the Super Bowl. And so y'all make sure you lock in and tell a friend to get that Apple Music subscription. So that way, during the halftime, before the halftime, after halftime, you get all the behind the scenes. Happy New Year, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for giving us a little bit of your time. Whether the energy's positive or negative, we know it's all love. All right, we'll see y'all next week.
Peace. Thanks for watching this episode of the Rap Life Review. If you enjoyed what you saw, just show us that it's real. Hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment so we can hit you back on next week's episode.